Hey there, everybody. It's Matt here, back for another retro unboxing. In this box right here is a Dungeons & Dragons expert set from 1981, aka the Moldvay edition. This is actually two things. There's also the basic set. The lot included both. And based on the photos, you may have seen my previous unboxing of a basic set. And based on the photos of this lot, the box set for basic in here was just much better condition. In fact, I'll show you real quick. Here's the one we unboxed. And, it is beat to hell. The cover is depressed into the box. It's been around. So the pictures in this lot showed a much nicer looking box. So I was like, I couldn't resist. I had to get this lot. I wanted the expert set anyway. So it's win-win. So let's open it up. All right. So here's our basic. We're not going to delve into the basic on this video, but I will show you the condition in comparison. And underneath, hopefully, is our expert. Yep, give me just a minute to get these unwrapped. Oh my gosh, yes, a million times nicer condition. Okay, real quick. So side by side, my old one versus my new. This is the old one. See how the box is flared out, it's all crunched. This is the new one. It is depressed in the middle a little bit, but nothing like the old one. Let's flip it over. Oh my gosh, it's so much better condition. Awesome. But we're not here to talk about basic today. We're here to talk about expert. This guy. And this is the Errol Otis cover you'll see featured right here in this little cloud that the wizard is looking into, scrying into, is the cover from the basic set. And we've expanded upon that because that's what the whole purpose of this was. So you'll see it has a number 2 up here versus the basic number 1. And then this went on to be reprinted again, I think in 83, I think the Menser edition. And then you're getting switching to Larry Elmore covers, which are fine. I prefer the Errol Otis. It's just a sentimental thing. And also they put these huge frames, and so the art got really small on those boxes, comparatively speaking. So let's look at what we got here. For use with D&D basic set. The original fantasy role-playing game for 3 or more adults. And I don't think, nowhere on here does it really say what they're trying to achieve with this, which was basically to expand the game and open it up to higher level play. So let's flip it over and see what it says. Oh, we got some damage here, but compared to my first basic set, that's okay. All right, yeah, we've got stop. Read this before purchase. This product does not stand alone. It has been designed to be used with the Dungeons & Dragons basic rulebook. It cannot be used by itself. Okay, so that is telling us there probably aren't complete rules in this box. Some reason in my mind I remembered it still having a basic rundown, but we'll open it up and see. Let's see. Also not seeing any designer or editor credits anywhere on the outside of the box. Got the cool old TSR logo there. All right, let's open her up. So this advertised having the dice from the set and the original crayon, which it looks like it does. I never in any of my old school D&D purchases had these yellow ones, but they definitely match the size and formation. They don't look like they've been used a lot. The 4-sided is still, as sharp as it's going to be in this mold. The 20-sided, notable on these 20-sideds is they're really small compared to what most 20-sideds are today. In fact, I have one right here. You can kind of, I think, get a sense of the difference. But it's cool to have those dice. And now I'm looking at them. What's missing? The six-sided is missing. Those turkeys. Oh well. Got lots of six-sided, most common die in the world, right? Okay. Crayon. Why is there a crayon if you've never seen anything like this? Is because these things are so cheaply printed, I guess you would say, that they're just punched in numbers or molded in numbers that are kind of hard to see. So you would color in the number with a crayon, wipe off the top. It would sit in the grooves of the number, and you'd be able to read it easier. All right. We got the standard TSR 1981 catalog. I went through this extensively in the basic unboxing if you want to get more of a flair or more of an idea of what was going on with that. So I'm not going to bust through all this again. I'll get trapped going down memory lane if I do that. So anyway, it's cool that it's in there. What else do we have? Oh, I do not like how they... Uh-oh. Okay, well, number one, they put this in the box at an angle. So look at that. Oh, that's not cool. Big old fold. And it's a really good condition. This is, real quick, the Isle of Dread Dungeon Module X1. So this is the original module built into Expert Set. You would get this with the box set. It's actually a really cool module because it included hex crawls, and I'm going to go into the book later. It's such a good condition that the fact that they put it in the box and let it get bent like that really sucks. But probably more noticeable, where's my rule book? Okay, I'm going to check the basic box. Maybe these people aren't D&D fans and didn't know what goes where. Let's take a look. Okay, so in the basic box are the dice and the catalog again, and keep on the Borderlands with no code. Hey folks, this unboxing video just turned into a bit of a I've been hoodwinked video. I don't have rule books in either of these boxes. Wow, what a drag. So basically I paid all that money for 2 modules in a new box for my previous copy of the basic set. That is not cool. So, geez, this is a bummer. That's what you get for eBay, I suppose. So let's make the best of it, I guess. So the Expert Set was designed to take your characters after level 3 and keep them adventuring. So the original basic set capped out at 3rd level, and this gave you rules to expand that. It also, I think, gave you more information about travel and that sort of thing, which is important because Isle of Dread. So we'll go ahead and talk about Isle of Dread here. Isle of Dread it's a wilderness adventure for character levels 3 to 7. So built for those characters that are done with basic, basically. And it's a wilderness adventure, so it has exploration, right, which is a big deal. It has what we would call the hex crawl. So on this cover, the awesome picture of adventurers landing on the island, some natives fighting the crazy lizard beast, sort of low-level Godzilla with a coral snake watching. A lot going on in that image. The Isle of Dread is the first in a series of adventure modules for use with Dungeons & Dragons expert rules. As the first D&D wilderness adventure published by TSR Hobbies, the Isle of Dread is designed as an instructional module to help novice Dungeon Masters design their own wilderness adventures. And that's exactly what it was. It was to kick off hex crawls, to kick off learning to do wilderness adventures, to do adventures rooted in exploration. So we open it up. Again, the inside cover is our awesome blue line spread of our dungeon maps. Taboo Island, Temple Level 1, Temple Level 2, Taboo Island, Temple Level 3. So it looks like this is our subterranean level. Very cool. Some great art on the back. This is I remember this image. It's kind of burned in my brain from being a kid. All right, so let's look inside. So we've got awesome art of flying monkeys mangling some poor barbarian character by David Cook and Tom Moldvay. So Tom Moldvay, also editor at times. Let's look inside. All right. The Isle of Dread. This module requires information found in D&D expert rules, which are a continuation of the D&D basic rules. Yeah, I wish I had those right now. Oh my gosh, guys, it makes me so mad. There are sellers on eBay who just sell the books. And of course, they're cheaper that way. So it looks like I'm probably going to, at some point, get the book and just add it to this box, because the box is in good condition. Man, that's a real disappointment. Let's take a look a little bit. The Isle of Dread is a wilderness adventure module in 5 parts. Part 1 is the introduction, which outlines both the adventure and the fantasy world it takes place in. Part 2, the Isle of Dread, is the first stage of the adventure. It includes getting to the Isle of Dread, exploring the main island, and setting up a base for the next stage. Part 3, the party investigates the island's great central plateau. With good fortune and thought, the party should establish a base at Mantru, a small village on the shore. Part 4 is the climax adventure. Here, the party discovers the secrets of Taboo Island in the center of the lake. Part 5 contains new monsters introduced in the module. So this isn't just an adventure. It's a kind of a supplement, because it gives you this very large island to explore, including lore. And then also new monsters, which if you were starting with basic and, you hadn't moved into advanced or more messing around with advanced Dungeons & Dragons, you're just playing this through, to have this little world building thing done for you is pretty cool. So we've got a section on geography. In the center of the module is a large scale 24 miles per hex wilderness map. Okay, I'm going to flip ahead and look at that really quick. This is big. So this is a little rust on the staples. Otherwise, this is in really good condition. So the island, they're actually showing us a world to play in, which is awesome. So you're getting like a little insight on a whole world to play in, even though you're going all the way down here to the Isle of Dread for this adventure. And if this are 24-mile hexes, that is a crazy long sea voyage, at least as I interpret sort of medieval level sea voyages. That's really far from the main continent. What do we got on here? Are we recognizing these names? Glantry, I know that one. Grand Duchy of Karamakos, I know that one. Yeah, so this is the problem with, or not problem, but one of the challenges of old school D&D is TSR really kind of fretted and stalled and went back on themselves on what their game worlds were, what was official, what wasn't. Is this Greyhawk? Is this not Greyhawk? Is this, what's the other one called? Is it Mystara? Is this, been retconned into some other world? And then, of course, later on, you've got Dragonlance world, Forgotten Realms world, all of the ones after that. But if you're just starting out, man, this is a great shortcut. Hey, we've got a world. Your character can be from the Khanate. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get back into it. So you've got a key to the continental map with little paragraphs on each one of the areas. So yeah, this is like a mini world supplement. Let's look at one here. Alfheim. As the name implies, Alfheim is the homeland of the elves. The elven kingdom rules the great forest of Kenilbarth because Kenilbarth is tended by the elves. It is by far larger than a natural forest in the area would be. Darakin pays the elves to protect the caravan route through the forest of Silencia. So right there you have like some economic and political information. That's pretty cool. Kind of like, as the name implies, Alfheim is a homeland of the elves. If you don't read like a ton of older fantasy or know anything about like Old English, Alfheim doesn't necessarily mean elf to you, or elf home to you, but this is an old game written by old nerds, so they just make some assumptions in that realm. All right, let's look at another one here. Empire of Thyatis. The Empire of Thyatis is an autocracy. The emperor holds absolute power, but his decisions must allow for the desire of powerful nobles and for the threat of mob riots over unfavorable laws. The city of Thyatis is built beside a large canal that separates the southern peninsula from the mainland, so the city is a major trade center. The Thyatic culture is similar to the medieval Byzantine Empire. Okay, so again, a lot of these guys were reading older fantasy and historical novels and kind of into the medieval history, so they would use as touchstones a lot of old historical cultures and countries. So I totally get that. It doesn't surprise me at all. All right. Man, if they hadn't bent this book, it would be in some really good condition. Oh, they've got a suggested pronunciation guide, weather and climate, the Isle of Dread background. Several weeks ago, the party of adventurers was turning from the previous adventure. The DM can work into the campaign as desired. When they discovered a cache of scroll papers. The scroll paper was made of an excellent vellum parchment, a kind of paper that lasts for centuries. On the journey home, the characters were caught in a sudden rainstorm and the entire cache was drenched. Upon the party's return to Specularum, it was found that none of them were magical. Still, magic users can always use good paper for spell research and writing their spell books, so the characters carefully spread the paper out in front of a fire to dry out. Much to their surprise, as the paper dried out, writing appeared on several of the pages. The heat had brought out secret writing on the parchment. The pages were part of a ship's log and read as follows. When the gale finally ended, we found ourselves approximately 7 days normal sailing distance due south of Specularum in the Thangagioth archipelago. We replenished our supplies, patched up the ship, and traded our remaining goods to native villagers along the shores of the several islands. Some villages were friendly, but others were hostile. The natives attacked on sight. I suspect the hostile villages were filled with cannibals. Okay, so this is obviously we're playing on some old school colonial exploration tropes. You're going to have, quote unquote, primitive natives being referred to, cannibals, of course. Is that a thing? Like, could that be controversial these days? Probably. For me, I would just scale it back. I would avoid any real world analogies, right? I would never say these people look like X or these people talk like X, right? But you can't really ignore that there might be, primitive native inhabitants of lost islands. I mean, that's kind of just a thing. And it's all on how you handle it, in my opinion. But anyway, I digress. What we got? We got wandering monster charts. So we got everything. It's a percentile roll. Everything from a dryad at 01 to 02 up to zombies at 92 to 100. You got every flavor of lycanthrope going on. This is a very dangerous island. I kind of like where a lot of newer random encounter tables are more like event based, and maybe sometimes it's a monster or a hostile force, but maybe sometimes it's a dramatic change in the weather or some villagers with a broken down wagon, or it's interesting to me that we've kind of evolved while also trying to highlight the themes of OSR. All right, key to main island encounters. Now you see again, much like the basic set, we're going with limited amounts of artwork here. There's a little. This is from 1981, but it's such a Jurassic Park vibe, right? The brontosaurus peeking over the walls with the big gates. So we've got encounter areas including places like Jaws from the Deep, Lair of the Sea Snakes, Caves of the Rock Baboons, Lair of the Giant Squid. No pictures for any of that, unfortunately. Look, Key to Rakasta Camp. So we've got these cat folks riding cats, rude. And they're called Rakasta. I want to say that these get turned into the Rakshasa in later editions in the monster manuals and such. And then another awesome picture of a flying monkey. Here we've got a spider eating a knight. Aranea layers. So these are giant spiders. The Aranea are a race of highly intelligent magic-using arachnids, spiders, who live in webs strung between trees. They look like huge greenish-brown spiders about the size of a small pony. That's a big spider. With a massive odd-shaped lump on their back that houses a large brain. The webs are about 40 feet above the jungle floor. These layers cannot be seen unless one climbs above the first layer of leaf growth, about 20 to 30 feet above the ground. Each Aranea has a separate layer, but the walls are close enough together so that Aranea can jump from one to another with ease. Part of the webs are roofed over with a waterproof mixture of leaves, bark, twigs, and strands. So, super intelligent spiders. I think it's kind of funny that they felt the need to design them with a big lump to represent where they house a bigger brain. I mean, I feel like they have giant heads and carapaces. You could just assume they're just smarter spiders, but let's go. Plesiosaur menace. We've got the plesiosaur chomping on a guy here in a little sketch. Again, these are really simple drawings. We're not seeing a lot of the more detailed stuff. All right, so this is the village of Tanaroa. It's got an earth mound with a pyramid, graveyards all around it. So there's something going on with the graveyards. I don't remember this adventure because that was so long ago. But so I can't tell you why they have so many graveyards. Maybe if we peek into the key. Let's see. These are all, so just at the center of the book are all the maps, right? So here's our island for our hex crawl. So that's, you'll notice it's got terrain marked out, like mountains, swamp, jungle, trails and such, but it doesn't tell you much. Like, it's got some marked numbered areas, but you know, the players get to explore this and you get to kind of use the charts or hopefully your DM's inspiration to develop this map, flush it out. General cave layer. So we've got sort of generic cave layer maps for your mini encounters. There's our world map again. And it's interesting. See, it obviously has the labeled areas, but it just says the continental map. It doesn't give you a world name in here. Oh, also, let's see if we can find that starting point. There we go. So Specularum, according to what we read, is where the adventurers begin their adventure. And they're going all the way down to the Isle of Dread. That just seems like a massive sail trip. I think they're hand-waving the challenge that would represent quite a bit. But it's D&D, it's high magic. I guess you can have reasons that works well. All right. Got a pirate layer with a cool mermaid compass. We got the Rakasta map and the Aranea layers. So this is pretty cool. Like, you might encounter these sorts of things in different parts of your hex crawl. That's one of the cool things about hex crawl. So you have these, you know, the generic cave layers and now these camps you can refer to and use again if you need to. The Phantom platforms. So this is like elevated tree town, looks like. Here's our central plateau, which is a whole chapter of the adventure. So that's like your finale, I believe. The village of Mantru. So we got chief's hut, some more huts, fish pen, council hut, outrigger canoe. Cool. All right. We got the village of Mantru, Taboo Island. The details of Taboo Island are given in part 4. No, part 4, Taboo Island. All right. This island was once the center of the kingdom of the Kopru until native rebellion destroyed their power. Players should not be told who or what the Kopru were. This is part of the taboo. For more details, see page 20. The rocky island is now dotted with small ruins, statues, and broken terraces. The largest ruin on the island is a temple that is carved into the cliff wall of the island's western shore. It can be most easily entered from the lakeside, as its broad steps descend to the water of the lake. This is where the players will begin the final stage of the adventure. The lair of the headhunters is on the first level of the temple complex. Okay, so on Taboo Island is where the cannibals hang out. So, it's not as imperialistic as you might be concerned. Like, I think the natives are productive, legitimate culture. They've thrown off these evil cannibal rulers in the past and made it a taboo to go there. So the cannibals are outliers. It's not like, primitive men. They're obviously cannibals. They're these bad guys. They're outliers. The good guys are here for your players to work with. What else we got here? The boiling well. That just sounds awesome. It's a cool picture. That guy is in full chain with a shield up to his neck in liquid. That's a bad idea. In the center of the hallway is a circular shaft of carved stone that descends out of sight. 65 feet below the level of the floor, the shaft is filled with boiling water. The shaft forms a U, trapping water at the bottom. The other end of the U opens into a ledge overlooking the great cavern of level 3. This water is heated by volcanic action. Okay, well, at least they explained why there's boiling water. Characters may swim the distance, but unless they have some method to protect themselves from the boiling water, they will suffer 2 to 20 points of damage. The water in the well cannot be bailed out, as hot water constantly seeps in. Yeah, swimming across boiling water sounds horrible. And they've decided it's 2 to 20 points of damage worth of horrible. All right, let's look for key to the 3rd level. Let's just kind of go through and look at something that jumps out. No. Okay, cool. Further adventures on the Isle of Dread. Since this module gives a great deal of detail on the Isle of Dread, the DM may desire to use the locations and descriptions found herein after the main adventure has been played. To aid the DM in this, some suggestions for further adventures on the Isle of Dread are listed below. So that's awesome. Like, it's a big island with a hex crawl component. So they're like, yeah, well, you're just going to do this one adventure and take off? No, there's other stuff you can do. So you can destroy the zombie master. This is a short adventure suitable for the use before the characters venture inland for the first time. The village of Tanaroa has been plagued recently by the attacks of undead creatures. The villagers are frightened, and the tribal leader seems to be losing the authority necessary to maintain order. If questioned, the people will only speak in frightened terms of the zombie master. At night, zombies and ghouls will prowl the paths, killing the lone travelers. As seen on the map, each section of the village... How does a zombie prowl? I mean, don't they just sort of stagger in a direction? I don't know. All right, so map the island. So information is always valuable. After having opened up new territory, a merchant prince or curious map maker might wish for more information. Okay, so now we've got a weird political commerce thing, which could get back to that whole colonialism thing. And it'd be kind of cool if you could, I could totally see the adventurers like flipping it and working with the villagers to maintain the integrity of their independence, maybe establish trade treaties with the continent, but on their terms. That could be kind of fun. But also, again, I think that continent is so far away, there better be some amazing things here to trade. The dinosaur hunt. A powerful and well-equipped party might find it quite worthwhile to kill several dinosaurs and carry all or part of the bodies back to the mainland. Hey, we're murder hoboing dinosaurs. Exterminate the pirates? Okay, yeah, you gotta have pirates, right? It's an island adventure. Bring them back alive. A tough challenge for strong characters would be to capture some creature alive and take it back to the mainland. Ooh, okay, so that's kind of cool. Maybe you have to retrieve a... Sorry, my cat is sneezing. Retrieve a, live dinosaur to take back, as a bounty. That might be kind of fun. Trying to keep it alive and in the hull of a ship. And then sunken treasure, of course. Shipwreck near the island, of course. Creating human encounters. So we have tables for human encounters. Which is cool. Sample native leaders. Okay. Matriarchs. Jakal. This aged and respected woman is a shrewd leader and a brilliant strategist. She has a medallion of ESP 30 feet. Through her experience and clever use of this item, she usually takes the best course of action. Sanlar and Kuna. So it's a matriarchal society, it sounded like. That's kind of neat and different and maybe a little ahead for 81. All right, then we've got tribal war leaders, Bakura, Kuro, and Masawa. This Bakura, because of his skill with weapons, this warrior is highly respected by his village. Though he is not extremely intelligent, he does have good advisors. Bakura is strong-willed and somewhat superstitious. So that's nice. You have ready-to-go leaders, both the political leaders and the military leaders with personality traits ready to go. Oh, in this interview, they slipped in the credits before the last part of the book. I wonder why they did that. So design is Tom Mulvaney and David Cook. Development Paul Reich III. Editor John Pickens. Bunch of more editors, no offense. Art, Jeff D. Love, David LaForest, Love, Errol Otis, Love, David Sutherland, not sure who that is, sorry, and Bill Willingham. Bill Willingham is awesome as well. So here's where we introduce new monsters, and it's going to be a lot of dinosaurs, I bet. So we got an Allosaurus, not pictured, but it is 13 hit dice. That is pretty impressive. Ankylosaurus, also not pictured. Aranea, those spring-having giant spiders. Brontosaurus doesn't exist anymore. That's cool. Dimetrodon, giant elks. I was getting real, coast Caribbean or maybe coast of Africa or maybe coast of Central America vibe here. So giant elk, whatever. Let's see, Kopru. What's a Kopru? Kopru are a race of heat-loving amphibians of great intelligence and power. Their heads are smooth with large eyes and tentacled, sphinctered mouths. That does not sound good. They have human-like torsos and 2 arms ending in webbed, clawed hands. From the waist down, their bodies consist of 3 fluke-like tails, each ending in sharp, ripping claws. Ooh. Okay, so here's a picture of the Kopru, if you can see that. And it's like a mermaid, if a mermaid was part colorful goldfish, part man, and part lamprey. Yeah, that's a combo. All right, this is going to be this native as an entry in their new monsters, which I don't know so much, but let's see what they say. Natives are primitive people who live in jungles, wilderness, or on tropical islands. The warriors of the more warlike tribes, including cannibals, will be first-level fighters, but the natives of peaceful tribes are mostly normal humans with fewer high-level leaders. For every 20 natives, there will be additional second-level fighter. Okay, so it's literally just kind of giving it to you for fighting. No comments too much on the culture there. And then the Phantom, which are those cool flying monkeys, and this is a Willingham picture right here. The The Phantom look like a cross between raccoons and monkeys. They are roughly halfling size and have 4-foot-long tails that can grasp objects and even manipulate them clumsily. For example, when fighting in the trees, a Phantom will often warp its tail around a branch for support. In addition, Phantoms have membranes of skin stretching from arm to leg. They can spread and glide from branch to branch. They have +2 bonus on all saving throws due to their small size and agility. For every 30 Phantom, there will be a clan war chief. Okay, so they're actually intelligent creatures, which is cool. They remind me a lot of another old school TSR game. Star Frontiers had a playable race called the Yazirians, who also made into Spelljammer and then got axed and or retconned in Spelljammer because of their origin story involving slavery. Yazirians are super cool. I loved them in the old school Star Frontiers. All right, and then we have the Rakasta, a race of nomadic cat-like humanoids. They walk erect, much like humans, but are covered with soft, tawny fur and have feline heads and features. The Rakasta fight with special metal war claws fitted over the natural claws. Oh, that's kind of cool. The Rakasta can use normal weapons such as swords, but generally disdain them, preferring to use their natural weapons. So, the Rakasta often tame saber-toothed tigers and then ride to hunt or battle. Okay. The only thing with that, and I've had this in other games that had like wolfkin in them. I always play it like they're offended when people ride wolves or try to domesticate wolves. And I feel like them riding saber-toothed tigers would be kind of like a human, almost like a human trying to ride a gorilla. I don't know. It doesn't work for me, but whatever. Also, there seems to be kind of a sort of Middle Eastern vibe, maybe Arabian Peninsula vibe, or North African vibe to their look, which is cool with me, but does that work with this sort of tropical adventure? Yeah, maybe. Okay, so this is super cool. This is literally a blanked out map, right? So this is, okay, party, you can see the terrain of the coast in the smaller islands, but you're going to have to go hex by hex exploring the rest of this, which is some good old school hex crawl business. I love that. All right, this is another Willingham that I was talking about earlier. Well, so that is Dungeon Module X1 Isle of Dread, one part of what is supposed to come in the Dungeons & Dragons Expert Box Set number 2. Wow, so this went from being a very full-on unboxing that I was going to be pretty excited about to a eBay got me video. So I will probably at some point try to get a nice copy of the rulebook because, like I said, they are sold singly a lot. So I can add it to this cool box because this box is in pretty darn good condition for being 42 years old. So at that point, maybe I'll do like a little addendum video where we go through just the rulebook and try not to curse my eBay seller. But as soon as I get off this video, I think there's a rating and comment headed to eBay. Anyway, super fun to look through what we were able to look through. Look forward to taking my junky 1981 dice to a game sometime soon. And hope you enjoyed what we were able to go through today. And keep a lookout for maybe an addendum in a few weeks. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks very much.